I set up this entire journal for the first half of 2026 and then gave it away, and now I'm doing it all again. Hi, I'm Erin, and clearly I have too much stationery because just making a journal for myself isn't enough. This A5 notebook was kindly gifted by Tiefossi, and I always like to start off my flip-throughs with a little tour of the notebook to see how it's held up. This one is in excellent shape despite being packed full of stuff, but I didn't use any paper in this mystery journal. I only used stickers and washi tape, and I think that's why it stayed so slim. This one is the foliage notebook in A5, and every single layout inside is also floral themed, so it felt like a very good fit. The spine is immaculate here, but as I mentioned, I haven't really strained this journal too much, so that's kind of to be expected. I've used a lot of Tiefossi notebooks at this point, and they always have held up for me, so if you want to have a look at their range and save some money, you can use my code ErinSmith on tiefossi.com for 10% off. Would you ever set up a journal for another person? Let me know in the comments down below. I shot this right before I sent the journal off to its new home, so I always like to put the winner's name in the front, and I popped a little note from me in that envelope too. As I mentioned, every single theme in this notebook features florals in some way, and they also all have their own dedicated setup videos on my channel, which have links in the descriptions of those videos to all of the supplies that I used to put them together. So if you see anything and you love the look of it, definitely check out the links in the description so you can find out where I got those things. These pages look a little bit more complex than they really are. It's really just the gold lace PET tape, a floral tape from the washi tape shop, and I made the headings myself as foil transfer stickers with my Cricut. I have a video about how I did that in case you're keen to check it out, and I'll be including some more foil transfer stickers in the next mystery journal that I DIY'd too. So what is this whole mystery journal concept and why do I do it? As I mentioned earlier, I have way too much stationery for any one person. That is partly because making videos about stationery on the internet is indeed my full-time job. And that also means that when I set up my own journal and share it on the channel, it's not always the most relatable to people who have more traditional employment situations than me, so the mystery journal was my perfect cross-section. A chance to use up some more of my stationery, which is always a good thing and a fun thing, but also a chance for me to share some layouts that are maybe more approachable and more useful to more people than the ones that I make for myself. But I didn't want to just set up 6 months worth of a journal and then put it on a shelf either, so instead I do it early. I set all of this up in advance and then I give away the journal so someone can use it as their everyday planner for those 6 months if they want to. And in case you haven't heard, the giveaway for the next mystery journal is open right now, unless you're watching this video after the 1st of June 2026, in which case, sorry, the giveaway has indeed closed. If you're keen to check that video out, there is a link to that one in the description here too, but I wanted to flip through the previous mystery journal with you to give you an idea of what the complete journal looks like to help you decide maybe if you want to enter that giveaway or not. So hopefully this video gives you a good idea of what a completed mystery journal looks like before it goes to its new home. I try to bake flexibility into the spreads themselves, but also leave some blank pages in between each monthly setup so there's room for the winner of the journal to add anything I didn't consider or any memory keeping or junk journaling spreads that they might like to include. It's certainly a challenge to try and set up a journal that is universally usable by anyone, but I really like that challenge, so I enjoy the project as a whole, and the next mystery journal is actually even more of a challenge because I chose to use a blackout page journal for the one that's upcoming, which means the paper inside is black, and that means a whole new range of pens that I don't usually use, and all of my usual pens are kind of not able to be used, and it's just been such a creative challenge but also so rewarding to set up. I always send a little selection of the stationery that I've used along with the journal, so if there's anything that the winner wants to expand on, they have that option. But I'm also sending some pens along with the next journal because if you don't have the right pens to write in a blackout journal, you're not going to get anywhere. You can't really use it, so making sure to include those too. Completely opposite to the challenge of working in a blackout journal, which I've never done before, setting up this floral journal was like breathing. It was so easy because florals are really my fallback. They're where I live my life. And I have found myself trying to stay away from florals in my own journals a little bit over the past 6 months because it felt like there was too much floral content flying at you. But now that all of the setup videos from this journal are live on my channel, I feel like I can go back to florals in my own journal a little bit, and I'm really looking forward to that. I also have to give a huge shout out to my channel members who are the most wonderful sounding boards. Whenever I start to go into planning mode for the next mystery journal, we have a live stream just for the channel members, and we go through all of my stationery and come up with the ideas for the themes for the next mystery journal together. It is so much fun. It really feels like a party. We have a great time mood boarding. It means I have a great reference to go back to when I'm like, what was I going to do for August again? And it also means they get the sneakiest of sneak previews long before I even start to set the journal up. So there is a live stream where we planned out all of the themes for the upcoming mystery journal that is being given away at the moment. So if you want to get a little look behind the scenes and you can't wait until all the videos come out or until the giveaway is drawn, you can watch that live stream as a replay, but only if you're a channel member on the Page Majors or the Jubilant Journals tiers. Every now and then I'll set up a mystery journal theme that I really wish I'd done in my own journal because I love it so much. And honestly, I feel like that could be the case with this entire journal because I do love flowers so much, but this ballet theme was a really special one for me. As a former dancer, I did ballet for only 9 years when I was young. I stopped when I was 16 years old. But ballet really stays with you in a way that I don't know that many other things in my life have. I've always kept dancing. I've done K-pop and hip-hop, and now I do a lot of folk dancing. I do some English Morris dancing, some Irish set dancing sometimes, and a little bit of English country dancing, which looks a lot like what Hyacinth did in the most recent season of Bridgerton. That was actually pretty accurate. But I will never be able to stop pointing my toes and turning out my feet. I just don't seem to be able to switch that off, and I've had some hip-hop teachers really try. So this ballet theme for April in the Mystery Journal was so much fun to put together and a little bit hard to let go of, but also not at the same time. One of the greatest things for me about setting up so many pages in the same theme in a journal like this, whether it's my own or this mystery journal that I give away, is that it helps me to really go through a decent chunk of stationery at a time, even when the pages are a little bit more minimalist like this. You'd be surprised how much washi tape you can get through when you're doing just a little bit on every page across like 12 pages. I don't seem to have the stationery hoarder gene. I really like to use my stationery. I'm not afraid to put a sticker on a page and then not be able to use it anymore. I really enjoy the satisfaction of seeing it work with the other things on the page to make something beautiful that hopefully I or someone else will use. I rely pretty heavily on graphic design techniques to help me make my pages look nice, and I have a couple of videos about those as well as some of my go-to kind of layout cheat sheets in case you want to check those videos out and maybe level up your own layouts a little bit or start to recognize what's not working when you don't like a spread. Sometimes you can put things down and think, in theory, all of these things are nice, but they don't look nice together. Why is that? Graphic design can tell you. And I have to make a little confession. Every time I look at this June theme, I can't help but think Blackpink in your area. This June theme is actually the last one for this journal. We can very comfortably fit 6 months in a Tiefossi notebook like this one. And I've made sure that the same spreads and the same pages functionally are included within each monthly setup. So I'm not allowing space for 6 habits for tracking, for instance, in January, but then by June you've only got space for 1, or there's no habit tracker at all, just so there's consistency throughout. And of course, once the journal leaves my hands, it's not mine anymore. It's up to the winner to use it however they like, and whether they use it every day or maybe just flip through it for references when they want to set up their own layouts or just keep it as something to look at, that's not up to me. That's totally up to them, and all uses are good and valid. But when I picture it in my head at the end of June 2026, I like to imagine it all filled out like it's helped somebody to move through this first half of the year. There are a handful of spreads left over at the back. I think there are 5.5 here, so lots of room for adding any kind of reflection after any kind of memory keeping or overflow extra trackers and things. And that's a complete look at the 2026 Part 1 Mystery Journal from start to finish, right before it went off to its new home with Samara. It was an absolute joy to assemble. I had such a good time putting this journal together, and this means we can now retire this journal from the channel. But I can't wait for you to see all the spreads inside the next one. So here's a link to the new journal setup for the new mystery journal in case you want to check it out and maybe enter the giveaway. And here's a playlist of all of the individual setups in this journal so you can check those out too and maybe get some links to some supplies.